In this video, we're going to see how you can work with different people in your team. Everyone comes into work with their own personality, characters, and ambitions. But how to make sure that very different people can work together well? Before we jump into that, remember to download my free book with the 3 elements you need to succeed in a management career. You can find the link just below or above this video. One of the very common questions I get asked is, my team members are so different. How can I work with all of them and make sure not to alienate them? That's why I decided to prepare a video for you focusing on how you can work with the different people in your team, perform well as a team, and all of that without driving each other nuts. To know how to do this, we first need to answer the question, why are people so different? Why do they behave so differently? For this, it is important to understand where does our personality come from. And behavior is the basis to understanding why people are so different, because it's how they express their differences. It's the visible part of the personality. Personality, if we want to sum it up, it's a combination of heredity and learned behavior through environment. Even before we're born, some of the foundations for the behavior patterns that we will exhibit in adulthood have been laid. The temperament and character traits we have inherited affect our behavior. But this doesn't mean our personality or even behavior comes 100% from heredity. Equally important is our upbringing and how we experience the world. Already as children, we learn and develop in multiple ways, but the most common is by imitation. A child mimics what he sees around him, with parents, teachers, and other significant people in his life becoming models for imitation. It's usually as children that we develop our core values, values so deeply embedded in ourselves that it's almost impossible to change them. These are things we learn from our parents or in school when we were very young. We usually learn these as life lessons. In my case, it was, some people have a hard life, so be kind, be generous. Another one was, study and do well in school. The first one, be generous, be kind, is what drove me to work with several NGOs, because I believe that we can have a positive impact in someone's life. All of us carry such core values. We know instinctively what is right and what is not, because this is at the basis of our values. And no one can take these core values away from us. This being said, we can have very different values among a group of people. Again, due to the reasons of our upbringing. Attitudes. The next layer is attitudes, which are not exactly the same thing as behavior or core values. Attitudes are formed opinions about something in life, which are based on my own experiences or on conclusions I have drawn from encounters in my life. An attitude is what you think, whereas a behavior is what you do. Here's an example. Imagine that as an early teenager you were bitten by a stray dog. Even if the bite wasn't serious or life-threatening, the episode was so traumatic that you, in your head, you thought dogs, in general, were dangerous. This is an attitude, it's a thought. Now, as an adult, you still change sidewalks when you see a dog, even if the dog is on a leash. This is a behavior. It's an action that you do as a consequence of your attitude towards dogs. Here are the examples that I used related to a dog, but it can refer to any kind of situation and can also extend to the workplace. An attitude can shape the behavior of a person, and even experiences later on in life can form attitudes. So, up to now, we have seen that we noticed people's differences in personality through their behavior, which is the visible part. And that behavior is a combination of heredity and learned behavior through environment. And then we also saw that attitudes or formed opinions about things also influence our behavior. So one conclusion we can take from this is, 1. We're all different because we have had a different heredity, upbringing, and life experiences that have made us unique, with our own values, attitudes, and behaviors. The second conclusion we can take is, people don't see the world in the same way. They see it in their own perspective, through the lenses of their attitudes and values. What we see is how different they are among them, but most people, they only see themselves. So the guidelines I want to share with you today to be able to work with a team of very different people are the following. First, seek to understand. We have seen how people are different. So the first natural step is to try to understand them. Understand what are the core values and the attitudes that shape them, that are shaping their behavior. If someone was taught that you need to study well so you succeed at work, and it became part of their beliefs, and hard work one of their core values, if they are having problems at work, they can perceive it as failure. In this case, you can notice their frustration and low motivation. And you can only see this if you seek to understand people. And to understand them, you need to get to know them, engage in conversations, and be genuinely interested in them. Your conversations need to go beyond how Project X is doing, or how we are hitting or not hitting targets for Z. You need to get to know your people on a personal level. And this understanding you only get by listening, but by really listening with curiosity. It's this listening that will give you the data to work with. Second, adapt. Once you understand the person in front of you and understand the reasons behind their behavior, then you need to figure out how you will work with them. This is the data that you have gathered from your empathetic listening. And from here, you can adapt your approach towards each person. As a manager, for example, you can adapt to all the people that you have in your team. So, for example, imagine you notice one of your staff members has as core value help each other because he was brought up together with 3 siblings and his parents taught him collaboration is important. In this case, you can suggest him to coach another team member or to be the lead in that new initiative that has to be done between 2 departments. By giving them something that connects with their values and beliefs, you are focusing on something that is natural to them. And you are doing this by adapting to them. But we can also imagine another of your team members that has a core value. Put yourself first. Because she was raised by her grandparents who taught her the importance of taking care of herself. Core values are neither good nor bad. They are simply our own. But in a team where collaboration is necessary, it can be tricky to have a me-first attitude. One thing that you can do with this person is to ask her to focus on tasks and activities that are important to ensure the well-being of the team. Usually, people who put themselves first can have a better work-life balance than others. So why not make all of it beneficial to the team? So these were of course examples, but you can get the picture. What is really important to bear in mind regarding human motivation is that satisfied needs do not motivate us. It's only the unsatisfied needs that motivate us. And besides the physical survival needs, the greatest needs we can have in the office space as human beings is to be understood, to be validated, and to be appreciated. Another question can be, how do you improve motivation when you have so many different people in your team? And what can you do? Well, that's a topic for another video. Stay well, stay tuned, and see you in my next video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on this. Oh, and if you haven't yet, remember you can download my free book with the 3 elements you need to succeed in a management career. You can find the link just below or above this video. In the meanwhile, take care of yourself and of your career.